My name is Karen Logidici, and I am the director and facilitator at New England Dyslexia Solutions. And it's been a little while since I've been live, but I wanted to pop on and just talk to you guys a little bit about summer vacation. So, about now is the time that my phone starts ringing off the hook to start booking boot camp programs over the summer months. And sometimes it's just, you're just so excited to have that, the school year finally coming to a close, but we have to figure out what we're going to do about next year. So depending on where you're at, you may have a child who is in, second grade or above, who is struggling with reading, writing, spelling, sometimes math. And a lot of times we can have problems with focus and state management, being able to maintain a level of focus and comprehension while reading or doing homework. And there's a lot of inconsistency that can kind of make it super confusing for parents to know what to do and what to do over the summer break with their child so that they don't lose any progress that they've made over the year so far. So I see that there are a couple people logging on. So if you're here, just kind of let me know who's here. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them into comments below. But yeah, so we are talking about summer loss of any gains or progress that have been made over the school year, and that happens really commonly with people with dyslexia and learning challenges. So what can happen is that they make all this progress over the course of the school year, and then it comes down to the summer months, and they really need a break from intensive work that they've been doing. They need to be able to have fun and have a break, but then there's this fear that when they start up the school year in September, that they will have lost what they gained. So there is a fine line between, having constant tutoring going on throughout the summer and letting them relax and have fun. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was the boot camp that we provide at New England Dyslexia Solutions. And it is a 1-week intensive program where I work with clients one-on-one. And ultimately, the idea is that, first of all, in many cases, if you are working dealing with dyslexia, then a lot of the interventions that are given in school, they are designed to help and to try to eliminate some of the reasons why reading can be challenging. But ultimately, what I see is that the fundamental skills and tools that a dyslexic student needs in order to be successful are not being addressed. So there is something that we call disorientation. And disorientation is a common thread for every dyslexic person. And it just really depends on how it manifests as to what type of dyslexia you end up being, diagnosed with, if you're diagnosed. And disorientation is really one of the major causes for the difficulties that are surrounded with dyslexia. So if you have any focusing issues, if your child complains of movement on the page, or if they add words that aren't there, or are missing words that are there, or are looking at a word and saying, a word that might have the same shape or similar meaning, there is a disconnect there. Oh, hey, Lynn, how are you? Good to see you. So there is a disconnect between what they are perceiving and what's actually on the page. And this is a really common red flag for parents who are wondering whether their child is dyslexic or not. But if you are seeing physical discomfort while reading or writing or, doing math or anything, like I remember my youngest son would just be squirming all over the place. It was almost like physically painful for him to try to, just be able to focus long enough so that he could take any information in. And so there can be all kinds of ramifications that happen from disorientation. And if that is not being addressed, then the problem is just going to continue and to resurface. And one of the things that can be so frustrating is that it's very inconsistent. So you could have a really good day when your child is seemingly focused and his or her state management is good. They're not stressed out. They're focused and they're reading pretty well, or they're doing their work, independently or whatever. And then the next day, it's a total nightmare. And so there's this back and forth kind of like, well, what is it? What's the problem? And it can be overlooked by people a lot of times just because their child is highly intelligent and bright and articulate, but it's just that when they're dealing with the written word, with reading, with writing, with spelling, and with math, that it can get jumbled. And that can look like laziness. It can look like them being careless, or maybe they're just immature. They're not trying hard enough. Or sometimes there are behavior problems. A lot of times, if there are behavior problems, those are the kids that are caught by school systems. Like, they are the ones that are actually given intervention. And others can kind of mask it and not be getting what they need in order to be successful learners. So over the summer is a good time to address these issues, because if you're not getting to the root of the problem and giving your child the tools that they need to be able to be successful in an academic setting, then it's just going to perpetuate. And what I see happen all the time is that the first thing to go is self-esteem. And it is heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking as a parent to watch your child suffer and to not feel smart and to struggle. And I come from this with experience, because as the mother of 2 dyslexic children, it was absolutely horrible to watch them suffer and to struggle with school, knowing that they were so smart and that, what's going on? Why can't we seem to get a handle on this? So that is actually how I got into this to begin with, was through my 2 boys. My oldest son went through the program that I now provide, oh my goodness, probably like 13 years ago. And now he's an adult and he's doing great. And then my youngest son also went through the program about 3 years later, and is now carrying a 4.0 in his major, and he is through his 2nd year of college. So pretty incredible how when you actually can master the skills and the tools that you need in order to be successful, how that can open up your life. So I wanted to come on and, hey Jan, nice to see you. I wanted to come on and just let you know that at this time I have about 4 slots available, 4 boot camp weeks available for the summer. And now is the time to really start thinking about it. So I know that it's probably at the last, the last thing you want to think about at this moment, because it's like school's almost out and you're getting there and woohoo, almost done. But it's also not the time to stop thinking about getting these tools under your child's belt so that they can enter school in September with the tools that they need in order to be successful. And there's nothing that feels better than to see the shift in when a person can understand for themselves how to manage the symptoms that they've been having without medication. They are just amazing and very simple mental techniques that are practiced during this boot camp week. And then to work on resolving all of the reasons why reading has been difficult. So confusion with letters, confusion with symbols, confusion with punctuation, with words that are very abstract and don't have pictorial meaning. So the sight words are something that really need to be mastered in order to fully correct the reading difficulties. So we have a proven and amazing way to tap into the creative nature of a dyslexic person, use their visual spatial abilities to their advantage, be able to give them the tools so that when they start to have those symptoms of those very uncomfortable symptoms of disorientation while they're learning, that they know how to get themselves into a relaxed and alert and a focused state so that they can learn, so that they can put themselves into the proper place and position and orientation so that they can learn for themselves and be present instead of being off in a confused place or being bored and being off in an imaginary place. So the 1 week boot camp really helps to eliminate all of the long-standing confusions with all of the symbols. And then if you do this program over the summer, you can gently work on the follow-up work. There is follow-up work after the boot camp is over, but it's fun and it's experiential and it sticks. So when you hear about the summer slump, where kids come back to school and they've lost a lot of the skills and the abilities that they had when they left school to begin with, part of that is, well, maybe they haven't practiced, but I know tons of clients who have worked so hard over the summer just trying to just hold on and maintain, and then they still go back to school in September struggling. So my goal for every single client that comes through my door is for them to leave the boot camp feeling like a rock star. And when that happens, it is the most awesome thing. You see them leaving and they have this huge smile on their face. They feel so good about themselves. They understand how they think. They understand how they learn. They understand what they need to do in order to be successful. So it's my belief that everyone wants to do their best. Everyone wants to succeed. Everyone wants to do well, right? And if you're dyslexic, you're just kind of operating in a different way. And it's a disadvantage until you know how to manage it for yourself. So when clients leave the boot camp, they know what to do for themselves. They don't need anybody telling them, what to do. They've got it. And at that point, we work together and they work at home just to keep and continue to build that foundation so that when they go back to school in September, they are feeling awesome and they feel different. And things change, like life-changing things happen during that week and beyond. So if you are interested in getting your child in for boot camp this summer, I wanted to pop on and just let you know that it is my busiest time of the year. And so please private message me or email me or give me a call so that we can set up an assessment. And the first step is an assessment. It takes about 3 hours. It is non-diagnostic in nature. You don't have to have a diagnosis in order to come. And yes, Jan, it's a very fun way to learn and to understand yourself. It's just amazing. So the assessment will give us a really good idea of how your child thinks, how they learn, and what areas we need to really work on. Because it's a boot camp that's delivered one-on-one, we can really hone in on these specific things that each individual needs so that they can move forward in their life and be confident and happy and successful. That assessment will then determine whether or not they're a fit for the program, and if they are, we can get them scheduled as soon as possible so that you can get your child on the right path for the summer and get that going. So you can private message me, email me, call me. I will post my contact information down below. If you have any questions, just let me know, and we can go from there. So I look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully to working with some amazing clients this summer. It's always a busy but super fulfilling time of year for me. So thank you so much for joining, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.